As you know, my job, or my life, has been a passion for codes, for culture code, for brand code, for products code, for everything that has a code, which means it's an unconscious structure that we have imprinted at a very early age, and that we, without being aware of it, unconsciously we activate when we think about this city, this culture, this brand, this mark, this company. Everyone has a code. Let me give you an example. P&G at the time asked me, I've done 25 codes for them. So, but one of the code that I did for them at the time was coffee. And they say, this is a commodity, and we would like to understand the code for coffee. Because if there is something that our brand, which is Folger, can own, then we are in big business. And so I did. And what I do is I take groups of people, take them back to the first time in their life that they imprinted coffee, and created the mental structure that they activate when they think about coffee. And the code for coffee, I can tell you, it's in one of my books, is not taste. I mean, everybody was trying to sell the taste. My coffee tastes better than the others, and they didn't care. The key imprint was aroma, and they wanted to own the aroma. And when they had that, everything was consistent with the aroma, the packaging, the advertising, and everything. And Folger became number one for more than 15 years in the coffee. So that's what I do. So tonight I want to share with you, and it's a premiere, we never did that before, the code for where you are here. So I want you to understand why you are here tonight. Why are you here tonight? I mean, there is, of course, the logical explanation, which I don't buy, is not the real thing. But there is another one that is very important, is that unconsciously you know the code of Delmonico. And what is the code? I'm sorry that my good friend Dennis cannot be here tonight. He's the owner, but he's not feeling too good, so he cannot be here tonight. So he doesn't even know the code I'm going to give you, and he owns the place. But the thing that is important is once you know the code, you understand why you're doing things that you were not aware of. And the code is rendezvous with your destiny. Wow. Rendezvous with your destiny. I mean, it's amazing. There are people you're supposed to meet tonight. There are people that you're supposed to be expecting tonight. There are people you already knew in your mind tonight. Because quantum physics, the time is not linear. The past and the present, as you know, I'm sure, is the same. And so this is what we want to speak about tonight. You see, this is my passion. My passion has been the code, understanding why people were doing things without being aware of why they were doing that. You say, why do you do that? Well, each time they tell me why, it's not true. It's not that they're lying. They have no idea why they're doing that. This is very important, you see. So why do people buy mobile home that never move? Why do people buy SUV in living in Manhattan? You see, there are things that don't make any sense. Why the more you sell diet books, more people are overweight? So is it the purpose of the diet book? I mean, it's just so anyway. So I'm very interested in understanding the code, and the code of quantum is very, very important. We are living at the beginning of a new era. And I'm sharing that with you tonight because that's really going to be my next passion, my life. I'm really fascinated by what is happening with quantum. It's not physics. I mean, of course, there is physics. We call that quantum mechanics, actually, and then all the quantum. But the point is, it's a complete breakthrough. The first chance in a lifetime that we have to completely change the way we think and the way we function. Quantum physics is a revolution in the way we think. Suddenly there are things that are just so challenging that I have a hard time to explain that to some people. So let me share with you some of that, and then we will see how that can apply to your life, to your everyday life. We have been manipulated by scientists. I'm sorry, there are many scientists here, so don't take it personal. But, everything starts with Manu. Manu is a philosopher from Persia in the 3rd century. And he was the one that said the first time there is good and there is bad. Manichaeism. So And we have been running through this dogma for centuries. There is good and there is bad. All right. Computers, okay, there is 0 or there is 1. Or anything else? No, this is it. Okay, all right. Then one day I realized that quantum computers, there are not too many, but there are some, can solve a problem in 100 seconds that a regular computer will take years to solve. Years. So, and there are some quantum computers, and not too many, but they are. And I can explain why it's difficult to have many. But anyway, so my insight was immediately, I want to start thinking that the quantum computers, because all the people, my competitors, are going to solve a problem in 10 years, and I will solve it in 10 seconds. Wow. And so I start digging and digging, trying to understand, I read all the books I could about quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum everything. And then I realized that a lot of people are speaking to quantum, they don't want to know what they're speaking about. They're just using the name as a brand to sell, quantum psychology, for example. Or, let's be serious. I mean, what is that? This is ridiculous. So, but we need to see people passionate the way I am to start applying all the quantum element to everyday life. You see? And so this is what is fascinating here, because if we apply the quantum principles, let me give you some example. Uncertainty. All right, uncertainty. Quantum physics say everything is a particle and a wave. So I'm sure everybody knows about what I'm going to speak tonight, but anyway. So you cannot see where the particle is and this in the same time know the waves. You have to choose. And when you collapse, you kill the wave and the particle is right there. So you can say the particle is there. But you cannot know the wave anymore. So think about that personally. You are a particle sitting on this chair, and you have a wave, which is your momentum. And the way to know you, we have to kill your becoming, right? Think what we do to our children. This is exactly what are you going to do? You want to be an engineer? So nobody cares about the wave. Huh? But no, now you're going to be an engineer and that's it. And all your curriculum, everything is decided for you. This is terrible, terrible. Huh? So how many people we meet without never really pay attention to the wave, to the momentum of these people, you see. And that's what I think is fascinating, because we can revolutionize completely the human relation science and everything we do if we start understanding some of the quantum principle. Let me give you some challenging example. Quantum mechanics say that you can have a consequence before the cause. You follow me? Yeah. So the consequence can arrive before the cause. The cause come after. Oh, what is that? Einstein will say it's spooky, right? But why do they say spooky? Because we cannot do anything else but using our traditional way of thinking, the Manichaeism, yes or no, right or wrong. We cannot stop using the wrong glasses to look at quantum physics, you see. And because of that, the scientists had tried to defend their turf. Even Einstein. Entanglement is when you separate two elements of a particle and you put one element somewhere and the other one at the other part of the planet, right? Far away. Yeah? And when one spin one side, the other one spin in the other side, instantaneously. And so this is a lot faster than the speed of light. And Einstein could not accept that. The problem is that he was using, and I have a lot of respect for Einstein, of course, but he was using the traditional way of making a scientific proof. This is not possible. When actually it is not communication, it's something else. You see, it's suddenly the unity that has been kept in one way we don't know. What I like about quantum is it works. It's been proven 500 times, but we still don't know how it works. Wow, interesting. So that's what is so exciting. Yes, it works. I mean, entanglement has been proven. Even I think last year, a new experimentation has been made But think about you being entangled to somebody. Maybe mothers can understand that better because they have been entangled for 9-1 with somebody inside. When you separate the two, they're still. I mean, I've done a lot of work on twins, for example. It's amazing. We are the beginning of a new era. And that's what I want to share with you, because we need to have all your brains to be stimulated by the dimension of quantum and quantum physics and quantum mechanics and quantum psychology and quantum marketing and quantum communication, everything. But we still don't have the mind program to understand that. We still think the old way. Like Einstein said, this is not possible. This is, spooky action at a distance. The thing is that we need a new language. We need a new logic. We cannot apply the old language to this dimension, the new logic. I want to share with you some of our permanent experience of entanglement. I play polo, and I love my horses. And my horses that has been a long time with me, I don't need to tell them what to do. They know exactly what to do. Actually, most of my horses taught me how to play polo. I never taught them, they taught me, you see. And when I feel something, it looks like my horse already knows it. I don't need to tell him what to do. It's a unity with the horse. It's incredible. So animals for that, because, animals are like human. They are good and bad. They are crazy. And animals have an ability for entanglement that we don't have. Flock of birds. I've always been questioning which one has the cell phone and will send the orders to the other member of the birds. When all of them, how do they communicate? I mean, nobody knows, of course, but we don't want to speak about entanglement because this is not scientifically, politically correct. This is not the way people think today. How come all these animals can move at the same time in the same direction without any hesitation? This is kind of very weird. I have a dog. I always had dogs, but I love my dog. And he's getting old. He doesn't hear very well. He doesn't see very well. And so I practice quantum entanglement with him. He wants to go out. I know it. I know it right away. He didn't come. He didn't scratch me. I know it. It's just amazing. He wants to eat. I know it. I need to be alone. He knows it too, you see. And when I need him because I'm kind of lonely, he comes. This communication is incredible. And I'm sure if you have dogs or cats or horses, you experience that one way or another. The beauty about quantum today is that we know it works, but we don't know how to analyze, make an interpretation that goes into the scientific way of proving things. I want to insist on that because I think we have been slaves to the wrong science. I mean that our mind has been putting in a situation that is not able to address the reality. For example, science says you can observe somebody or something and be objective. Really? Well, we can't. I'm a psychologist. I have a doctorate in psychology, and I always am fighting against the fact that you take a child and you putting in a mental health hospital and you say, okay, then we're going to cure. You cannot cure him because you created the situation. When a child is into a mental health hospital, of course, he's sick, otherwise he would not be here. The observation effect in quantum physics is that when you observe something, you create what you observe. And I always have been fighting for the notion that all this psychotherapy is iatrogène. It creates people that are sick, Because of that, we need to understand that, and I know it's spooky and counterintuitive, but when you observe something, you create a new reality. It's amazing to see, once you are aware of that, when you establish a communication with people, you transform me and I'm transforming you. I mean, we're not aware of how much and how it is happening, but it is happening. There is no question. We need to know how we have to control the food we put in our brain, because we come the ideas we put in our brain. Placebo effect is a reality. If you think this is going to do something good for you, it does something good for you. By the way, there is no SIBO list of all the bad things that can happen to you if you take that, and you have them. I'm sorry, Descartes, a good friend of mine, that the mind and body are not separated. Stop thinking that. And you're not separated from your parents, and you're not separated from your husband, your wife, your partner, whoever they are. There is entanglement without us being aware of it. If we are aware of it, we can increase that, we can make it better, we can transform it. So the point that is key here for me, this is all the quantum discoveries, all the quantum principle have an incredible power to change almost everything in our life. And we're not really aware of that because we're looking for a practical effect, something that we can make money with. I mean, if Einstein was not able to see, how pretentious are we to be able to think that we can see something? But he was using the traditional way of thinking. I believe there is a culture that is quantum already. The co-founder of my institute here is an Indian. And the Indian culture is already quantum. It's been quantum for thousands of years. But we were not programmed to see that. We were in Delhi recently for LG, the Korean company. And in the group, that was all marketing, MBAs and everything, one Indian woman say, I cannot come tomorrow because my uncle died and I have to accompany him to the next life. See, it's not just I have to pray, I have to be with them. If she's going to help this guy, I think quantum physics is based on all the problems that we eliminate because they thought they were not logical. Everything that we have rejected for centuries, they are the starting point of all the quantum science we're going to develop. At times go in all directions. Never forget it, because you can transform your past, which doesn't exist really, the present, which doesn't exist really, and the future, that doesn't. All that is an illusion, but in the same time, you can transform it all the time. You are not what you think you are. You are becoming the multiple you. And this multiple you is the quantum cloud, the quantum reserve. All your future already exists. It's just up to you to bring it to the present. But it's already in the present because this is past and present and future at the same time. It's complicated, but we have a hard time to think this way. What I really like here is a challenge. Okay, everybody is going to criticize that. All the scientists are going to take their gun and start shooting me because, hey, I'm questioning the old way of thinking. I know, I'm prepared, and I died already several times. This notion of changing the time and changing the space is absolutely crucial to the way we function here. I don't know how old I am. It depends. Maybe I was born in 1715, Louis XIV died because I didn't like the guy so much. So, but 1715, that's a long time ago, right? Yeah. I adapt. This is what is key here. You can choose your date of birth, as you can choose your date of death. It doesn't matter. This is the same anyway. You see? So I'm sorry if I sound completely crazy here, but I am. I taught a class in 1975 at Michigan State University at Thomas Jefferson College. And the title of my class was Wisdom of Madness. Wisdom of Madness. And at the beginning, they say, oh, this guy is crazy. So they give me into a little classroom. The next week, they needed a bigger classroom because I had a line of people waiting. And the next way, at the end, they gave me the biggest amphitheater in the college. And I still had people waiting in line. And why is that? Because we think that we're crazy because people tell us we're crazy, when actually they are crazy because they don't see how quantum you are, you see? And this is so, again, powerful. Try to remember all the crazy ideas you had in your life. We're going to give you a little bag, and there is a little booklet there. And I think it's always important to write down your journey to quantum or through quantum. And your first writing should be write down all the crazy ideas you had when people told you you're crazy, especially when you were a little kid. My children spoke to the dog all the time. Of course. You see, I don't know if you saw this movie, fantastic, where all the children can speak to the dog and the dog can speak to the children. But then after a while, the king of the dog or the head of the dog say, well, we're tired of your planet, we're going to leave. And the children start, fighting because we don't want the dog to leave. We love them. We like to communicate with them. We understand what they say and they understand what we say. And so the big guys say, okay, the dog can stay, but they will not be able to speak like human. And that's why we have the dog we have today. I love this story. I love this because it's a way to look at madness in a way that is so enriching. There are some people I call BLT. Don't be offended, but and binary linear thinkers. So they are binary, yes or no, good or bad. They're all computer, and they think that everything comes after another thing, after another thing. Yeah. And quantum challenges completely this BLT way of thinking. The time goes in all directions. Consequences can happen before the cause. You had many lives already. I mean, again, I know it's kind of spooky, but yes, I'm sure you had. I've been exploring mine for years, and amazing, amazing. So, we have a dimension here that we have an ability that we never use. You see, for example, we're going to have a series of program to train people to start thinking quantum. And one of the things that I would like you to do is to start to create your quantum team. I can tell you of my team. I already have a team, a quantum support team. I have Voltaire. I have Thomas Jefferson. I have George Sand. I have Montesquieu. I have all these people that were crazy at the time that I can ask questions and they give me guidance and they help me and they, and say, this is fantastic. So you see, so we can have, think about the power in education. How boring for you is to learn dates about when was born Voltaire or what did he write, and it's boring. It suddenly it become your coach. It become your companion. Every time you have a problem, a question, you ask Voltaire to tell you his answer. And so this is so stimulating, so exciting, you know. And by the way, the more I've done that, the more I learn about Voltaire, Montesquieu, all these people. Of course, you stimulate. One thing that quantum can do for you is that nothing repeats itself. I mean, again, that the science that we have today, to prove a point, you need to repeat an experimentation that you call the verification. Yes, completely bullshit. I mean, you cannot repeat anything. This is it. I mean, this planet have an expiration date. The sun is going to stop at a certain time. Doesn't matter. The reality is that this is changing, this is moving, and we don't repeat things. No, we think we do, but we don't repeat things. No? So, but we don't want to see that there is no repetition because we feel comfortable in repetition. You see, and once things keep changing, then one of the key words, if you want to become quantum, is to learn how to improvise. You have to improvise. Wow. You see, I've done a lot of experimental theater in my life. And so when you improvise, you just reactivate some connection that you didn't were aware of it, but exist and are very, very powerful. Well, because we're changing all the time. You cannot repeat something. It's so powerful. You see, I have a wife that I really adore, but she keeps me busy because she's never the same. I have to improvise all the time. And this is, one thing that you can get from quantum is men are not from Mars and women are born from Venus. How ridiculous is that? The yin and yang, men define women and women define men. And without women, there is no man, and without men, there is no woman. Sorry about that. This is it. If you look at the yin and yang, the design, this is amazing. So we are complementary. I mean, this is another key issue that we can learn from quantum physics, is that there is no opposition. There is only complementarities. You see, one of the things I want you to do is to take a little booklet and to write all the tension, the opposition you had in your life. all of them, some of them. And then you sleep on it, and the next day you look at how can you transform that into complementarities, seeing that the two sides that you saw like were fighting against each other, actually, if you make them complement each other, they become a unity. And you know what is fascinating is that Buddhists have said that for a long time. Indian philosophy have said that for a long time. But we have this Manu heritage, Manichaeism, that they're right and wrong, and they cannot. They have to fight against each other. One of the things that I hope one day a great American politician, I don't know if there's any, but anyway, will ask me to try to solve conflicts. I read that Putin wanted to be part of Europe. So you see, I think there is a possibility to start to look at the tension. And one guy from Harvard once was into conflict resolution, and he asked me to come to Davos to present what I thought about conflict resolution. I think that quantum help us to understand how we can see two enemies and look at how they can complement each other and create a unity. So, which is a way to avoid conflict. Why do you want to kill the one that is complementary to you? You need the other one to create the unity, you see. But because we look in many case way, there is good and there is bad, you are evil and I need to kill you. This is a big change in the way we think. And I know it's a challenge, but it's urgent. I was invited at the Council on Foreign Relations in New York that was created after the First World War. And the idea was to try to avoid new wars. Obviously, didn't really succeed. So we have to accept that the problem is our old way of thinking. That's it. It's very simple. We have to move to the new reality. So I hope you're all going to fight with me to solve all this problem using the quantum physics. So thank you very much and welcome to the quantum world. We have created a quantum advertising agency, and Mimi is one, Chloe is the other one, and Missy is the third one. And the purpose of quantum advertising is to apply all the things that we know about quantum to communication. Thank you.